Okay, so this is a review of the APX6000 Marks radio, the portable radio that we carry while we're on duty. So just radio pieces and parts. So this is your push to talk button on the side. This is your control panel and your displays, one of your two display screens. This would be a connection if you would have a shoulder mic, like a police officer or the fire department. And then this is your speaker and your mic. You see it has the nighttime battery on it. To remove the battery, there's two buttons on either side of the radio. You push both of those in and the battery slides out. You can see there that this just slides in one way and it should lock. And then you're good to go. So if you're swapping batteries, just make sure this is seated in all the way so you get a good connection. On the top, so this is your volume on and off. This is an easy way to switch through zones 1, 2, and 3. On the top, they just have them labeled A, B, C, but you can switch through the zones on here. And then this would be your channel selector, channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, so on and so forth. This circle right here that has the zero, the circle with a line, the circle without a line. So if I rotate this to the circle without the line, I can manipulate this. If it's in my pocket, it would switch between these. And I really wouldn't know what was going on. If you have this through this line, it just sets it so if I switch this, it's just gonna stay on the frequency I had it on and it's not gonna start changing frequencies or zones without my knowledge. The orange button is traditionally an emergency button. I'm unsure if it works with PHI. I know it works on the mobile stroke radios, but this is an emergency button. If you push this, it's supposed to send an emergency signal saying that you are in distress. So whenever you turn your radio on, your second display screen is going to turn on as well. Your home display screen should go to XCC Air. You see I'm in zone 1. Up here in the corner, this is your signal indicator. So if your radio is making that tone, saying out of range, you might not have any service. This is a scan symbol. Our radios are not set up to scan, but that's all that means. Then your battery life indicator. You have a zone button here, battery, mute. The zone button is really the only button you're going to use, and that's how you would select through the different zones that we have available. But you see when I push this, it says keypad locked, right? That's because I have this set to the circle with a line. If I flip this over and I hit zone, it's now going to let me select a zone with these toggles up and down to change to. So it's best practice just to have this top set to that locked. So if this is in your pocket and you're doing this, it's not going to do anything. The main difference right now that you need to know between the portables and the radio and the helicopter is the zones and the channels do not match the reference card. So you're best just to leave this on XCC Air and make all of your other calls through the radio and the helicopter. These have not been flashed over yet to the new radio banks that we created when we got the 145. But again, you can just select through this top knob, ATAC 92D, ATAC 94D, Medvac, Medvac 2, and then different hospitals are in here. So if you know the hospital number, you could probably find it pretty easy, but it does not match the card that's currently in circulation that matches the helicopter radios. If your antenna's loose, you might get a weak signal, so just make sure your antenna's tight. Sometimes if you're not getting a signal at all, just make sure that's twisted on nice and tight. So this is going to be a review of the APX6000 Marks handheld radio that we use from Motorola and the base charger and the batteries. So at Clinic 3, you guys have seen that there are nighttime batteries and daytime batteries. So we put this in effect once we got extra batteries so these batteries can recondition. So that's what we're going to go over, the chargers and kind of what that means and why it's important. So if you're on nights, the night shift battery should be on the radio. The day shift battery should stay on there. This battery has been on this radio since 6 o'clock. It's now 2 a.m. and it is still fully charged. So you will get an entire 12 hours plus out of one battery. So at the morning time, shut off your radio. To switch the batteries, again, you're gonna depress the knobs on the side, remove the battery, take the day shift battery, put it on the radio, and now day shift is good to go. Night shift battery is going to go on the charger and it should turn red. Red indicates that it's charging. If you are Putting the battery on there and it turns yellow like this means the battery is reconditioning. What that means is it's going to take the battery and it's going to completely drain the battery till there's no juice left in it. And then it's going to completely recharge. This can take up to 8 hours depending on the condition of the battery. What that does is it allows the battery to hold a charge longer. So it's very important that we allow these batteries to recondition and charge on a full cycle. And that's why we're swapping them at the beginning of the shifts. So if you come in and the battery is still yellow, there is an extra one in the back, an extra battery that you can use in the meantime to stay in service. But if we stick to the rotation, which I know sometimes it won't happen, the battery should be conditioned by the end of your shift. If for some reason you're at clinic 1 and you don't have the extra batteries, you need to override the condition to get it to charge. If you quickly pull it out and then push it right back in, it'll go to red and then it'll just recharge the battery. But every time you take this battery out and the charger resets and forgets about it, and you go to put it back in, it's going to want to recondition. So you don't want to be putting the radio on and off the charger throughout the whole shift like we used to. We really want these batteries to be able to cycle through a full charge. On the base chargers, you see where the battery connects on the back. Just make sure there's not a bunch of dust in there that's going to prevent these from connecting. Over time, these will get scored and turn black. So the connection might be a little bit loose, but then just report that according to the forms on SharePoint. So swapping the batteries at shift change, it's important for the life of the battery, and it's going to help prolong the life of them and their functionality. But the battery will last you a full 12 hours.